superstars were watching when they were 12.
I would be glued in front of the TV. It was the best half an hour of my week.
I remember vividly the commentary because it was terrible.
It is one of my favourite movies.
But first, the stars of Strictly Come Dancing are not just the best in the UK. They've been handpicked from the creme de la creme of the dancing world.
I grew up in Auckland, New Zealand, which is the biggest sort of city in New Zealand. New Zealand has a lot more space than here. Climate is slightly warmer, so you have an opportunity to stay outside for longer and to run around.
Erin's not the only New Zealander to be strutting her stuff on the Strictly Come Dancing stage this year.
New Zealand is very open. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. The cities are much the same, I suppose, but we have probably a bit more land around the houses, a few more trees in the actual cities. The roads are wider, everything's more spacious.
So let's get this right. New Zealand is beautiful, the sun is warmer, there are more trees, and there's lots of space to run around. So what are you two doing in the UK with our crowded cities and terrible rainy weather? OK, to be fair, New Zealand is pretty stunning, and its natural beauty has won it many fans in the film industry. The country is used as location for Middle-earth in both Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. In neighbouring Australia, when Craig was 12 in 1977, he was getting a bit on the stinky side.
When I was 12, I was living in Sydney, and Sydney is very humid, it's very hot, so when you go to school, it's very sweaty. We had absolutely no air conditioning at our school, so you'd sit in your classroom and be really, you know, pongy and sweaty and horrible, but we wore little shorts and we wore little ties and, you know, summer outfits.
Oh, isn't he adorable? But whilst Craig was sweltering in the heat of Sydney, when Karen was 12 in 1994, she was still getting used to the cold winters of her new home in the USA.
I originally come from Venezuela. It was warm and I had my family around, and we moved to New York when I was 8 years old. It was a new country, it was cold, and I'm wearing a jacket that I feel like, you know, Frosty the Snowman. And, you know, it felt like I didn't have that many friends because I didn't speak English. And I felt lonely.
Growing up in Poland, Ola was no stranger to cold winters either, but there were other hardships to be faced there too.
I had a lovely childhood, but my country was quite grey and dark, really, when I was younger, because there was communism when I was born, so Poland was struggling through the years. I just remember small bits of communism because obviously it was getting better while I was growing up.
Communism is a political system that dominated the former Soviet Union, run by Russia, as well as Eastern European countries like Poland for much of the 20th century. Under communist rule, governments owned things like shops, businesses and farms. They didn't allow free elections and kept a very close eye on what the media was allowed to say. When Ola was growing up in the 1980s, Poland went through some serious economic problems. Food was rationed, and queuing for hours to buy even the basics was commonplace.
There was just nothing in the shops. My mum couldn't just go to a shop and buy me a Barbie doll or clothes or anything like that. They had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start queuing because they brought in meat in a shop. So it was quite hard. I think it was quite hard on my mum and dad.
Communism ended in Poland more than 20 years ago now, and the country has gone on to become one of Europe's most successful economies. When Flavia was 12, she was spending her holidays living La Dolce Vita in her homeland of Italy.
I'm Italian. I was born in Italy. Both my parents are Italian, from Naples. I moved to England just before I turned 5. I used to go back to Italy quite a lot. When I was about 12, actually, I would actually go for the whole of the school holidays. Naples, it's an incredibly interesting city. It's quite dangerous, but that's what makes it quite exciting as well. It's one of those towns where you've got to, you know, watch yourself.
What Flavia is talking about is the Mafia, a criminal organisation that operates in parts of Italy. Naples is a stronghold of a branch of the Mafia known as the Camorra. The Camorra get involved in all sorts of crime, even controlling some of the companies that collect rubbish in Naples, and have been blamed for leaving huge piles of stinky stuff all over the town. The Italian government has been trying to weaken the influence of the Camorra, and for most visitors, they aren't an issue. For Flavia, as for many, Naples will always be a great place to spend a holiday.
It's beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I don't remember going there once and the sun not shining.
Still to come, we speak to our Strictly celebs and ask them what they would say to their 12-year-old selves.
I had my first kiss when I was 12 and I kissed him and I ran away. I think I would kiss him proper.
If you love something, whether it be a sport, whether it be dancing, whether it be playing a musical instrument, follow that dream.
Follow your hearts and don't be discouraged.
But first, what were our bevy of ballroom beauties watching